Hey guys, Sensei Craig coming at you from the Samurai Virtual Dojo with another pre-recorded session this week. Today's session is for you guys out there that are a little bit more intermediate or advanced in your karate, in your martial arts. So I'm thinking, 5th kyu, which in Samurai is a blue belt. So 5th kyu, 4th kyu, 3rd kyu, maybe even up to beginner levels of black belt. So we're going to start with a bit of a leg workout and then transition into some training, martial arts training after that. So get ready to get warm. Os. So obviously with karate training, like any sort of fight training, legs are really important. So we need leg strength to be able to move around, be explosive, deliver power. It's our foundation. So that's why we're starting with a leg strengthening and muscle building warm up today. Remember, primary muscles we want to work when we're doing a leg workout are our glutes, obviously, even though they're not in the legs, really important, quads, and to a lesser extent, hammies and calves. So we're going to start our session today with some side lunges, 20 on each side. We'll alternate though. So make a nice long stance and we're going to lunge down like so, and then lunge to the other side. So let's get 20 going. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. Next exercise, we're going to go into some Bulgarian split squats. So for this, you're going to need a stool or a bench, a ledge, something like that we've got in the dojo. I've just got a basic stool here from IKEA. Okay. So we're going to pop, back leg, up on that, down, forward foot, extend your front forward leg out as much as you like, and then from there we're going to do some squats on the leg. Okay, we're warming up, strengthening the legs. Can't go past squats and lunges and things like that. So our next exercise is going to be 40 walking lunges, alternating. But we'll do them off the spot. So step in left, step back, step in right. Let's go. So we just finished lunges, walking lunges. So what's next? Yeah, squats. Alright, so feet apart, slightly up. Awesome. And let's get into it. We're going to do 30 of these and go. Alright, so for this last one, you're going to need a stopwatch or a timer on your phone or whatever, and we're going to finish with a 40 second, 45 second, up to you. Drop it down if your legs are feeling a bit tired. Finish with a wall sit. So remember, back flat against the wall, push your lower back, back, do a little squat. Os. So it's day 2 of training for me in the Adidas Club gi. I must say it's feeling a little bit more worn in today, nice and comfortable. Remember our 200 subscriber promotion, so we're giving away an Adidas Club gi and a Samurai t-shirt or polo for our 200 subscriber. But anyway, get into some training now. So after warming up those legs, doing that great leg routine to warm up, we're going to start with a basic kicking drill. A lot of you have done before. First with Maigeri, then with Washigeri. We're going to kick with the front leg, pull out. We're going to kick with the reverse leg and recover with that leg in front. So for those of you who haven't seen this drill before, maybe doing it for the first time, or even for those who have but need a refresher, we're going to kick by stepping up snapping that front leg and down. Then driving with the hip, we're going to kick with the reverse leg and then change legs. From that position there, kick with your front leg, which is now my right leg. Bam! And recover down and kick that leg in front. Now we kick with the left leg, hip through and change. Don't change hands until you're stepping back. Okay, we want to keep that core and that torso nice and still. Alright, so let's have a look at that again. So to my first count, H is front leg, snap it and down. Knee, reverse leg, snap it and down. Make sure you hold your knee up after you recoil. Thump, kick, hold that knee up and down. And then last kick, yon, is that back leg. And recover back to your starting position. Alright, I want you to get 10 sets of that nice and quickly. So the H, knee, sun, yon. Okay, and complete 9 more sets. See you back here in a moment. Excellent. So now, complete that same exercise with Mawashigiri. Now, with your front and rear leg Mawashigiri, what you can do if you're a little bit more advanced, vary your heights. So front leg Mawashigiri, go high. Rear leg Mawashigiri, maybe go Shodan, or mid, or low, up to you. And remember to scale the activity depending on your fitness and flexibility level. So if you're a little bit older, flexibility is not so great, a couple of low kicks, okay, or maybe low and mid. Alright, so what does this look like? So with our front leg, remember, we'll turn. So I did a bit of teaching on front leg Mawashigiri in yesterday's novice class. Might be useful to go back and check that out for some of you. Okay, so I skip up and kick front leg Mawashigiri. Now reverse leg, don't forget to change hands to facilitate rotation. Reverse leg and change. Good, now that leg, right leg, front leg, so skip, bam, front leg, and now that left leg, reverse leg and change. If you're a little bit more advanced, I want you to do 10 sets of that and then do the same thing with Ura Mawashigiri. So, for example, you know, Ura Mawashi and out, front leg and out, and so on. Okay, so just with that Mawashi, here we go. H, knee, recoil, sun, yon. That's it, good. Complete 10 sets. Like I said, if you want a little bit more of a workout, a little bit more of a bang, 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 then continue on after that and do 10 sets of the front leg, reverse leg drill with Ura Mawashigiri. Once you've completed your Mawashigiri and or Ura Mawashigiri, join me back here. Hey guys, welcome back. So for our next section of training, we're going to do some work with our legs on sliding, bit of movement, particularly tsuri ashi or sliding feet. We're going to double up on our classic or basic, what I call a double foot slide. So we're going to double up on that. We're going to get a couple of those. So 1, 2, that sort of thing. Of course, as you get more advanced, there are variations on that where you can cover more range or cover more distance and also escape appropriately as well. So for example, you know, I can slide longer with my front foot, bring my back foot up, like so, and then slide afterwards. I can adjust the slide so that they're shorter if the person is moving in and I'm covering that range. So this double foot slide, this double 2 foot slide is really a very important movement. Okay. Another key thing to remember at this stage when you're practicing it as a basic movement is to keep your foot movement what we call equidistant. Okay, so a great way, a simple way to explain that is if your front foot moves 20 centimeters or say 8 inches, also move your back foot 20 centimeters or 8 inches. Same when you're going back. If this back foot moves 10 or 20 centimeters, front foot should move the same. It's not until we become a little more advanced and good at that movement and control that we want to experiment with extending and decreasing and having, you know, slightly different movements with the feet. So at this stage we're looking for equal movement with both feet. So starting with a nice, I guess, chunked and sequenced movement, get your first slide nice and strong. Make sure when you hit the end of that first slide that you connect and anchor. Don't just slide and land there. So connect your legs, slide, reconnect. Yeah? And then when you get your second slide, slide and reconnect again. Remember, we're not just training for the self-defense aspect. We also want to get a bit of a healthy workout here as well. We did start with the legs. All right, going back now, we slide back, release, reconnect. Make sure your heels are slightly off the ground so that you can achieve that connection, and slide back that second time. All right, make sure you're feeling that burn. Here we go. Hitch. So slide number 1 forward, knee. Connect at each stage, and back. Hitch. Knee. Excellent. I want you to complete 12 more sets of that, or 12 sets. Go. All right. You completed your 12 sets, left leg forward. Switch into right. Hitch. Connect. Knee. That's the way, and back. Hitch. Knee. Good. I want you to complete 12 sets. Right leg forward. Go. Excellent. Now that you've completed your left and right leg forward, double foot slide twice forward, twice back. You've completed your 12 sets on each side. Get it to a single count now. So we still want to stop in the middle of the 2 slides. So we still want this connected point here. We just don't want to stop there for long. So from this position here, we're now going to get 1, 2. Notice how I got that connected point in the middle. All right, so watch that again. I'll try and do it more effectively this time. Okay. I mean, I did get it, but I felt it wasn't that strong. So from here, 1, 2. That was a little bit better. Watch that one more time. So 1, 2. Now when you get to here, to try and get the same thing back. 1, 2. So a little less gap in the middle. All right, again, 12 sets left, 12 sets right. Off you go. Awesome. So now that you've completed that, see I've got my door anchor here. I've got a resistance band tied up to that. Slightly different one today. I'll let you know what I'm using for my own training today. So I'm using the PTP resistance band here in the light category. So the weight range on that is 11.4 kilograms to 22.7 kilograms. So it's got quite a lot of elasticity. There's quite a lot of give there, which is really good. So, with a light resistance, about here, you're going to be getting about 11 kilos of pull. Extend it out a little more, 15, right out at max extension, you're going to be getting about 20 kilograms of resistance. So make sure you've got your tube, and then join me back here in a second. Make sure it's anchored to your belt. All right, ready to go. So, I should have mentioned this before, but I suppose it's a good time to mention it now. You notice where I've got the anchor. So if you've got someone holding the tube for you, make sure they're holding the tube below your hips. No good holding it up here. You'll come forward with your body like that to overcome the resistance. We want the anchor, not too low, but we want it below hip height. That way I'm being forced, let me just pop that down, sorry, a little bit more. That way I'm being forced now to use my legs and my glutes more. You can see that stretching out there. At this stage, about that tension now, I'm probably getting about 15, I can feel about 15, 16 kilograms worth of resistance there. That's actually quite a nice pull there. And then back. Now, the key we're going back, as I've talked about with previous in previous videos with this resistance training, is not to get slung back like that slingshot effect. So start with wherever you're comfortable. Just start with the tube a little bit loose, like so. If you want slightly less resistance towards the end. If you're feeling a bit stronger, a bit tougher, a bit more advanced, get a little bit of light resistance there at the beginning and then work from there. Okay, so from this position here, probably a good idea to do 5 sets. In fact, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 5 sets where I stop in the middle. I still get 1, 2. So that'll look like this. 1, and then 2. And then I go back twice, keeping that core nice and tight. 1, 2. And I'm going to do that 5 sets left, and then I'm going to switch and do it 5 sets right. When I've done that, I'll join you back here. I'll show you the next exercise. Okay, so now that I've done my 5 left and by 5 right sets of that, what I'm going to do now is attempt to reduce that gap in the middle, and I'm going to do 10 sets left and 10 sets right. So there's that light resistance there, and make sure you hold at this end, and then 1, 2, 1, 2, and then back, 1, 2. All right, I'm going to do another 8 sets, you do 10 sets, then change legs, 10 sets on the other side, go. Okay, that's good. So, this next exercise, final exercise in this series, before we move on to a little bit of different training. Sorry. Okay, so this last exercise, we're going to add some techniques. So as we come forward with the first slide, we're going to add front hand, like a jab, kazamasuki, and then on the second slide, we'll get a gakusuki and thrust. Now on the way back, we're just going to go legs only. All right. I won't say that this exercise is for more advanced students. This is an intermediate, advanced training session. Okay, so intermediate students, if you feel that you want to give this, or if you think you want to give this a go, hey, give it a go. Advanced students, you should be definitely doing this. All right, cool. So, from this position here, I'm going to slide, I'm going to wind up and throw that jab. Try to get a reasonably technically good jab. So from here, it's slide and jab and hold. Make sure you're connecting here. Then release those legs again and let the gakusuki go. Important to hold it there before you recover. And as I said, going back, just 1, 2. Yeah? All right. So let's have a look at that again. So I'm going to slide forward, both feet, and leave the hand out. Now I'm going to slide again and hold. Lock it all in for about 1 to 2 seconds before you recover. Don't, and then come back and, release tension, etc. Good form. And then 1, 2. That's good. So I want you to do 10 sets of that. Left leg forward, and then 10 sets right leg forward. Go. Awesome. Welcome back. So now that we've completed that tsuri ashi training, legs only, and with the tube, so non-resistance and with resistance, we're going to move on. So in traditional Japanese karate, we have these exercises that in English, in samurai, we call formal kumite. So they're paired exercises usually. You learn them by yourself to start with. Things like sandan-gi, sanrenzuki, sanbon kumite, etc. And these are eventually designed to be paired exercises. So one person completes the pre-formatted attacks while the other person practices their defenses. Even though it is a completely unrealistic looking form of fighting, it's great for teaching students the basics of movement, matching up particular uke movements with particular strikes to various areas of the body. What I would recommend, however, is I notice in a lot of dojos around the place that they never escalate that training. Like a lot of things, there's that black belt, they're just really, really good at doing the novice version of it instead of escalating it. So with your formal kumite, let's take sanbon kumite for example. Okay, so at a very basic level, 9th kyu, 8th kyu, I teach my students to step and punch, Jodan, Shodan, and then Gedan, and then go back with Agi uke, Soto Chudan, and Gedan uke, and then, get some form of a counter. By the time my students get to sort of 5th kyu, 4th kyu, I want them to be experimenting a bit more with that. Yes, I've already got them sparring, doing a bit of kumite like this, but in order to give them more options, I ask them to be creative. So, for example, completing that sequence starting right leg forward. Another great option that I get them to do is substitute different movements. So for example, instead of stepping over and straight punch here, I might get them to step and swing that way, swing a hook or a haymaker at the head. Now, not to say that Agi uke isn't going to work against that. So if I step back and block the hook this way, that's potentially going to work, but what other options are there? So it forces the student to be a bit more creative. Yes, the fighting is still unrealistic. Yes, it's still pre-formatted, but when we're doing that, we're looking at different options. Remember, in the street, or in kumite in the dojo, when someone attacks you, Okay, there's a variety of techniques that they could be throwing, and yes, there could be a bit of telegraph like this, but is that technique going to come around? Is it going to hook this way? Is it going to come around and then come back the other way? Is it going to go straight? You know what I mean? So you can't be guessing, or you don't want to be guessing at techniques in kumite. So in your formal kumite, you need to practice different versions of things. Okay, we're going to work or just go through Go Bon Kumite today. So just a pre-formatted 5-step sequence. All right, so I've got the super wide angle on here. Okay, so from this position here, attack number 1, we're going to break the weight. Remember, we're practicing stepping, so break the weight, step forward, Jodanzuki, step forward, Shudanzuki, step forward, Gedanzuki. All right, I'm just going to move back just a little bit here so I stay in front. All right, from here, I'm going to pick up this hand and kick rear leg Maigeri. So front kick, bang, snap it, and down. Now from that position, don't change hands because I'm going to kick roundhouse with this leg. This hand is already forward, so around we go, that way. Excellent. All right, so we've completed those pre-formatted attacks now. Let's go back. So step back, Agi, step back, Soto Chudan, step back. Geranuke, step back, Sugui, and step back, Shuto, and counter. Okay, so just a quick reminder or walkthrough of, let's 5-step, basically formatted formal sparring sequence, or formal kumite sequence. So get you to practice that nice and strong. Maybe 5 times left leg forward, 5 times right leg forward. Then I'm going to give you a little challenge. Go. Awesome. Now that you've completed your 5 left leg forward and 5 right leg forward commencement of that 5-step fighting there, what I'd like you to do now is think of some other techniques that you can substitute. Okay, so maybe when you're going with the Gedanzuki, instead of going Gedanzuki, maybe simulate a knife thrust or something like that. Okay, yes, it's still very formal. Yes, it's pre-formatted, but remember, building blocks. You know, we don't jump in. Now, someone asked, I was talking to someone yesterday about some online training they were doing with their MMA group, and they were asking about traditional karate, and they said, made a comment that gave me cause to think, I probably should say something about that. And the comment was, the reason I didn't get into traditional karate is because I wanted to do sparring straight away. And I had a bit of a chuckle and I said, I can completely understand that. I mean, we're talking about an adult who's never done any fighting training before, wants to get into some martial arts for self-defense, for fitness. Hey, what's the first thing you want to do? Of course, you want to do sparring, you want to do kumite. And they said to me, what are your thoughts on that? And I said, well, first of all, I get my students to spar very early on in traditional karate. However, it's not as free form as you might be talking about. And the other thing as well is that I would gently argue and try to convince you that when you haven't done any fighting training before and you're just starting out in martial arts, freestyle sparring is not really good for your development, okay? What you need to do is learn the fundamentals. That's why traditional karate and other traditional systems are so good. Yes, it takes a while to get results. Yes, you won't be sparring freestyle for maybe 6 or 12 months. And even when you do, it's only with a couple of basic techniques. But you know what? You're learning a good foundation so that when you do spar at a higher level, okay, your technique, your stances, they're all strong. Okay, so even though I'm not the hugest fan of sport karate, I do enjoy watching some of the elite level WKF kumite. Even at a state and national level here in Australia, some of those fighters, they are so fast, they are so explosive. You know, and I defy anyone to look at someone like Ryotaro Raga or Rafael Agaev, okay, especially Rafael Agaev recently with the different sort of MMA fighting he's been doing, okay, and we've seen on YouTube and that sort of thing. I defy anyone to look at that sort of sparring and tell me that that's not, you know, a good way of fighting. It's not the only way of fighting. It's not the only form of self-defense, but it is a brutally effective one. So yeah, stick with these formal kumite exercises, guys. They're really important. So what I'd like you to do now is try that Go Bon kumite a few more times. See if you can come up with some slightly different attacks and defenses. You know, maybe the Chudan block, change it to Uchiuke. You know, mix up your blocks, see how you go. Okay guys, good job. So coming towards the end of the session now, I've got a couple of things left to do. First, or second last thing that we're going to look at today is a little bit of just basic kata revision. Now, because this is an intermediate advanced session, I am not going to go through the entire kata here in the video. Instead, I'm going to go through the first couple of chapters of the kata just to prompt you guys. All right, and then you can go along and learn it. For those of you who prefer to, who are looking at learning online, and perhaps you haven't studied this kata before, I'm happy for you to go back and do a more simple kata. So I'm going to be showing you the first couple of chapters today, and I would like you to do some revision of Pinan Shodan. Okay, which is, of course, this one here. Now, if you don't know Pinan Shodan, you can follow along for the first two chapters with me, and then maybe go back and do some Pinan Godan, which you can look at in earlier videos, or you could do some Pinan Nidan or Pinan Sandan. Okay, which we're covering in the novice sessions at the moment. If you're looking for more of a tutorial on Pinan Shodan, then later in the week, later this week, okay, which is the second week of April, we're going to be launching our online learning platform where you can access more tutorial videos and learn some of these things from the comfort of your home or in your personal dojo. Maybe your personal dojo's in your backyard, on your veranda, porch, or maybe you're lucky and you've got the carport or a garage or something with a mat and that sort of setup, or a nice rumpus room where you do your home dojo training. And on this learning platform, there will be tons and tons and tons. We're releasing more all the time, tutorial videos. Later in the week, we'll be announcing how to access that content. Okay, but for now, let's just look at chapter 1 and 2 of Pinan Shodan. So starting in Haikadachi, my first movement, of course, like all Pinans, I'm going to turn to the left into Nekawashidachi, wind up my right hand, and pull it back, like so. And this hand is blocking Uchuke, this way. This hand's preparing to strike. Okay, from this position here, we're going to vigorously pull the left hand back to the shoulder as we strike nice and now. From here, don't do that. Don't keep your hips still, guys. From here, make sure that hip comes through, yeah? When you're striking, you need the power of your glutes and legs coming through. Okay, so don't turn your kata into something, you know, that's just arms and just a bunch of pretty movements. Not that my movements are that pretty, but you get what I mean? So from this position here, bang, slam that hip around. Now from here, slide out with the left foot first into Haikodachi. Unwind your hips and strike Tetsui. Then look. Same on the other side. So wind up, that hip is open. From there, slam it closed and strike with that reverse hand. Then unwind, bang, that way. See how I'm using my hips to produce that power. Alright, from that position there, put your left foot forward and across the line, similar to Pinan Shodan. Okay, similar transition. So we put that across, turn 180 into right leg forward, Nekawashidachi. Rock back, right leg Maigari. Put the foot down, turn 180 and block Shuto. Let's have a look at that from a slightly different angle. So from this hook, probably here's better. Yeah, okay, so left foot, after I've gone here, slight pause, then left foot goes forward, turn, block Uchuke, up, put that leg across, down, and Shuto Yuke. I'll demonstrate that from one final angle, from here, so left foot forward, 180, block, rock back, kick Maigari, down, turn 180, Nekawashidachi and Shuto. So that's chapter 1 and 2 of your Pinan Shodan. So I'm going to get you to practice Pinan Shodan 10 times with a short break in between each practice. Okay, if you don't really know Pinan Shodan, feel free to watch that walkthrough, very quick walkthrough, chapters 1 and 2 again, and complete that a few times. Okay, or choose another Pinan that you do know and complete that 10 times. Then I'll see you back here for the final exercise. Okay guys, welcome back. So for this final piece of segment of the training today, You don't necessarily need your mitts, but because most of the time when we're sparring in the dojo, and we are going to get back in our dojos, you know, whether it's a month from now or 2 months from now or 3 months from now, hopefully it's sooner rather than later, we're going to be sparring again. We're going to be sparring with people. So, you know, I'm liking keeping the mitts on at the moment, just to keep myself, you know, in the right frame of mind. Just the thing about mitts, you know, in a lot of martial arts now, you know, tough martial arts, they don't spar with mitts. You know, quite often with my novice students and intermediate students, I get them to spar without mitts because I want them to develop focus and control. Remember that you don't put mitts on to protect yourself. You put mitts on to protect your partner. Okay, good training is about health and fitness, as well as self-defense and power and speed and all those sorts of things. So if you're fighting with partners in your dojo, again, one day, you need to protect each other, you need to take care of each other. And that's why we wear the equipment. We don't wear the equipment because we're wimps or sooks. Let's use some Aussie words here. Wimps or sooks or whatever the case may be. We wear the equipment to protect each other. And by the way, I've been hit by really good fighters with mitts on before, and damn near knocked me out, and they were controlling the technique. So anyway, okay, some of those people know who they are. All right, so what we're going to finish with is, depending on your fitness level, I want you to do 3 rounds of tetherball sparring. So again, the concentration is on focus. Now obviously, because it's a tetherball, it's going to move around a lot, as opposed to a heavy bag where you can launch combos on it. Okay, so I want you to try a few combos and single techniques on your tetherball. Now, for those of you who don't have a tetherball, you know, grabbing something like cutting a pair of pantyhose in half and feeding a tennis ball to the bottom of that and suspending it is really good. Make sure the tetherball is not too high. Work with it at different heights. So pop the tetherball down at chest height, then move it up to head height. All right, so 3 rounds. Give yourself a little 15-second break between each. Pop some music on if you like. Now, length of the rounds, you know, if you're not as comfortable with this sort of thing, maybe do 3 30-second rounds. For those of you a little bit more advanced, maybe 3 45-second rounds or 3 1-minute rounds, just to finish your training today. All right, so moving around, and working the ball this way. You don't necessarily have to stop the ball all the time, and make sure variety of hands move this way. Steady the ball, move, don't stop. Steady the ball for 5 seconds, have a cheeky little rest. No. Make sure you're moving. Okay, so throw some techniques short and then come into the ball that way. Okay, make sure boom, you're practicing all sorts of things. Okay, so from here, urakin, uramoshi, etc. 1, 2. Oh, what's that front kick doing up there? Sway, move. Give it a bit of a hit. Come around, make move. Round, hands up. Whoop, steady that ball. And so on. So like I said, 3 sets, 30, 45 seconds, minute, depending on your individual level of fitness. Go for it. Awesome, guys. Thank you for joining me in the Samurai Virtual Dojo today for some training. Had a great sesh. So we did that nice strong leg warm up to begin with. Followed that up with some leg work. Some rapid kicking, that sort of thing, front leg, reverse leg. What do we do after that? Oh, tsuri ashi, jumping foot slides, doubles, a bit of resistance training. Then we moved into some gobon kumite, some formal kumite revision, a little bit of Pinan Shodan, or another Pinan. And then finished with a little bit of tetherball sparring. I love that tetherball sparring, it's so much fun. Okay, don't worry, we'll break out the heavy bag in a future session. But for now, this is Sensei Craig coming at you from the Samurai Virtual Dojo. Don't forget to like this video and hit that subscribe. Hopefully, which side did I put it on? Maybe that side. No, that side. All right, hit that subscribe link there or button so that you can be notified. Hit that little bell button when we release new content. And also to help us grow our channel so we can continue providing you with new exciting content to train on. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. Os. Have a good one.